What's going on, y'all? Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. So the talk begins. Was Mr. Errol Spence a hype job all along? The answer to that question is absolutely not. Absolutely not. Errol Spence is a world-class fighter. A champion. Like, unless you think the welterweight division was full of cupcakes or pancakes, unless you feel like the division was soft, there's no way that dude could ever be a hype job. He got 3 belts. Got them individually from one fighter. Went over to the UK and stopped Kell Brook. Regardless of what you thought, took a lot of crazy shots, stopped Kell Brook. Beat Sean Porter, right, in a dog fight. Went to beat Yordenis Ugas and pummeled him even after the car accident, right? Smoked Danny Garcia in the worst way I've ever seen him get smoked after his car accident. That's what Errol Spence did, right? Seen him go and destroy dudes easily. I've seen him whoop on Lamont Peterson like it wasn't nothing. He didn't knock down Mikey Garcia. However, I'm talking about beat Mikey from pillar to post and pummeled him. So there is no way that brother could be a hype job. What happened is Errol Spence simply ran into a buzzsaw named Terrence Bud Crawford. A guy that he cannot fight the same way that he usually fights against. You see, Errol Spence took the same game plan he goes and fights every fighter with. He took that to Terrence Crawford, and it did not work. Because Terrence Crawford is a generational talent, he is an all-time great elite type fighter. Errol Spence is a world-class fighter, a great fighter, was a great champion. But Terrence Crawford is levels above him from what I saw, right? And I'm an Errol Spence fan, humongous. That's my dude. I rock with Errol more than I rock with Bud. Terrence Crawford is on another level, right? But Errol Spence is world class. And I'm gonna say this: people calling him a hype job. What it is a lot of people, that are anti-PBC, and I told y'all what anti-PBC really means. I told y'all what that means. That means I don't fool with the black fighters. That's what anti-PBC really means. I don't really fool with black American fighters. Because other than, and let me tell you this too, because it's a lot of people who are simply Terrence Crawford fans, but I know a lot of folks who was only riding with Terrence Crawford because he was the anti-PBC guy. He was on the other side. He was under Bob Arum for a very long time. And a lot of people could get behind him and be anti-Al Heyman and, so on and so forth. So that's where a lot of the confusion come into play. Because I know a lot of y'all, people who are fans and businessmen alike who do not like Al Heyman, the black dude in there getting the bread or whatever, right? But nonetheless, let's get back to the point. Errol Spence is not a hype job. He's not. Terrence Crawford is just an elite dude, and he had nothing for Terrence Crawford. Sometimes fighters just run into guys who are better than them. Guys who have their number. We've seen it with several all-time great fighters. You know what I mean? So when you say Errol Spence is a hype job, right? I want to remind people. I really want to remind people. Was Tommy Hearns a hype job when he got knocked out, when he got stopped by Sugar Ray Leonard? Was he a hype job? Right? Was he a hype job when he got stopped by Marvin Hagler, Tommy Hearns? Was he a hype job when he got knocked out in the 3rd round against Iran Barkley? Was Tommy Hearns a hype job? You see where I'm going with this? Fighters champion all-time great fighters. Take losses. It's a part of the sport. Now, Errol got destroyed in his matchup. So he's going to have to go back to the drawing board and figure some stuff out. And it may be he can never from what I saw, I don't think he's going to be able to beat Terrence Crawford. But he can have a much more competitive match for sure. But he simply just got outclassed, man. And that is what it is. He got outclassed in every way possible. But he's not a hype job for the reasons that I explained at the beginning of the video. So people ready to just call him a hype job because he took an L or whatever and he got stopped. I told y'all he a hype job. Come on, man. That's not how boxing works. And see right there, calling him a hype job would take away from Terrence Crawford's win. Calling Errol Spence a hype job would take away from his win, and that would add to the sentiment that Terrence Crawford ain't really that great, or he ain't that good. You know what I mean? it is crazy to me though, because like I said, now when you have people saying he's a hype job, this is why certain fighters don't want to take certain matchups or go against the top guys, because they know they'll be ridiculed, they'll be clowned out, you know what I mean? And it may affect how they feel about themselves or so on and so forth, certain confidence. Because we in a social media era where, I mean, a fighter can get on social media and see everything said about him in a matter of minutes. Seconds, rather. Luckily, Errol Spence is a guy who has his head up, who seems to be very confident in who he is as a person, as a man, as a fighter. He seems to be an upstanding individual. And I see that from when he posted on his Instagram, congratulating Terrence Crawford, right? Went on his Instagram story talking about how, look, you know, his head is still held up high, right? He not giving no excuses. He come from the old law of men. Ain't no excuses, man. And if he would have had one, he wouldn't have been giving it to you. He wouldn't he would never tell the world, even if he had an excuse, is what he said, right? But ain't no excuses. He just simply got beat. But man, a hype job, man, come on, man. Like, y'all people that's saying that, unless you just ain't been around boxing for a long time, we saw Lennox Lewis get stopped by Oliver McCall. We saw him get stopped in the second round, dog. The second round. You feel what I'm saying? And then came back and beat Oliver McCall by TKO himself, right? We've seen this happen. We saw Mike Tyson get demolished, get beat up by Buster Douglas, right? And that fight was more competitive than Errol Spence with him. But we saw him take that L against Buster Douglas. We saw him get pummeled by Evander Holyfield, right? And Mike Tyson fans will never even allow you to call him a hype job. Not in the slightest breath. Mike Tyson fans will still argue he's the second greatest heavyweight outside of Muhammad Ali, when anybody that watches boxing knows that is not true. But Mike Tyson fans will let you erase that. They not gonna let you call Mike no hype job. They ready to fight your ass about Mike Tyson, because how dare you call a great Mike Tyson a hype job? That's how they feel. You know what I'm saying? They really feel like that. They feel invigorated like that to say, well, how the hell could you ever say that about our guy Mike Tyson? Evander Holyfield got outclassed by Riddick Bowe, right? Lost to Michael Moore. Got beat by Riddick Bowe twice. He got one decision. Riddick Bowe say that only happened because the fan man came in on a damn with the fan attached to his back on a parachute, and it gave Evander extra rest. But yeah, man, like come on, man. So Evander Holyfield trash now? He a hype job? Because he got beat by Riddick Bowe, Michael Moore, you know what I mean? He got beat by Lennox Lewis, so on and so forth. That don't even make sense. But you just got people who ready to, and I get it too, you know. A lot of people love Terrence Crawford, and they don't like the disrespect that Terrence Crawford was receiving, so they call him a Errol Spence a hype job. But I'm telling you, if you do that, all you doing is taking away from his win, because they're making it seem like, hey, he ain't beat nobody, or he beat a dude that was just trash or average. You know what I mean? When he did not. The world knows he beat a world-class champion, a great champion in Errol Spence Jr. So no, Errol is not no hype job. I see people saying Keith Thurman would have beat him. You know, you can feel that. I don't think Keith Thurman is nowhere near as strong as Terrence Crawford. He's athletic and provides a different look to Errol, but I think Errol's body shots would have got Keith up out of there, right? It may be that Errol Spence can beat just about everybody else except Terrence Crawford. Sometimes it's how it go in boxing. You seen dudes go up against other people and obliterate them, but they got that one dude they can't fuck with. Shane Mosley couldn't fuck with Vernon Forrest. You know what I'm saying? Like, he could not mess with him at all. You think that don't mean Shane Mosley wasn't no great champion? Wasn't an all-time great fighter. Just couldn't beat dude. And that's how the chips fall in boxing, man. We've seen this before, man. But people are so used to seeing Floyd Mayweather and having that perfect record, 50-0, and the way he went about it and the way he dismantled people, like, it was just so world class. You never seen him get dominated ever in your life. And so if a guy loses in a dominant fashion with one-sided completely, you just calling him a hype job when shit, he just went against a dude that just is much better than him. That's it. That's all, man. Machiavelli Mills TV. I'm out. Peace.